Today, we would be introduced to the poem My Mother at 66 by Kamala Das. So, before starting the poem, I would like to say something about the poet. The poet Kamala Das was born in Malabar, Kerala, and she is one of the India's foremost poets. Her works are known for their originality, versatility, and the indigenous flavor of the soil. She is a very sensitive writer, and when we go through the poem, we realize it. So, what I'm going to do is I'll read the poem and explain it. So, here we go. Driving from my parents' home to Cochin last Friday morning, I saw my mother beside me. Doze, open mouthed, her face ashen like that of a corpse. Here, the poet says that she had gone to visit her parents' home, and on Friday morning she was returning. On her way to the airport, she noticed her mother sleeping beside her in the car. Her mouth was open, and her face appeared pale and lifeless, just like a dead body. It perhaps expressed the pain she felt because of separation from her daughter, and realized with pain that she was as old as she looked, but soon put that thought away and looked out at young trees printing, the merry children spilling out of their homes. So here the poet says that when she saw her mother like that, she was alarmed by the sudden realization that old age had crept upon her mother. It was reality. She found it very hard to accept. The poet was pained to see her mother like this, and just to divert her attention from this disturbing thought, she looked outside the car. Since the car was moving, the young trees appeared to be running in the opposite direction. She also saw a group of children rushing out of their homes to play. Now, both of these were a reminder of the past. The young trees printing represented how fast the time has flown by, and the children represented youth, which was full of life and energy. Both the young trees and the children present a sharp contrast to the mother sitting beside her. But after the airport security check, standing a few yards away, I looked again at her van, pale as a late winter moon. So here the poet says that the young children and the trees, they were able to divert her attention. But after reaching the airport and passing through the security check, the poet again looks at her mother, who was standing just a few yards away from her. Her mother looked lifeless and dull, just like a late winter's moon, which cannot be seen clearly because of the mist and fog, and felt that old familiar ache, my childhood's fear. But all I said was, "See you soon, Amma." And all I did was smile, smile, and smile. So once again at the airport, she was pained to see her mother in this condition. As she was going away and leaving her mother, her old familiar ache, that is, her childhood fear, was that she would lose her mother, and it suddenly became alive. But she tried to hide her emotion behind her smile. She did not want to reveal her feelings to her mother and bid farewell with a smile. She gave hope to her mother and herself by saying that they would meet again, and she kept on smiling. Now, we also do that. Sometimes to hide our pain, we put a fake smile, a broad smile on our face. Now, here the poet has repeated the word smile at the end of the poem, which signifies the poet's hope of meeting her mother again. She puts emphasis on smile on her face in order to cheer up her old mother. Now, in this poem, it doesn't have any regular rhyming scheme. The poem doesn't have any regular rhyming scheme. The whole poem is written in free verse. That it is a single sentence and it is punctuated by commas. And we can see that the poetess has used simile. She is trying, the literary devices she has used of simile, that is, she is comparing her mother's face to that of her dead body, then again to the late winter's moon. So she has used the simile, and again she has used different images like of trees sprinting by, children coming out of their home to play. All these images has been used to describe the poem and to make the poem a very sensitive and a beautiful one. Thank you. So now let's discuss a few question answers related to this poetry. The first question is, what kind of pain and ache that the poet feels? Answer is, when the poet sees the pale and corpse-like face of her mother, her old familiar pain or the ache returns. Perhaps she has entertained this fear since her childhood. Aging is a natural process. Time and aging spare none. Time and aging have not spared the poet's mother and may not spare her as well. With this aging, separation and death becomes inevitable. The next question is, why are the young trees described as sprinting? The answer is, the poet is driving to the Cochin airport. When she looks outside, the young trees seem to be walking past them. With the speed of the car, they seem to be running fast or sprinting. The poet presents a contrast, her dozing mother and the sprinting young trees. The third question is, why has the poet brought the image of the merry children spilling out of their homes? The poet has brought the image of merry children spilling out of their homes to present a contrast. The merry children coming out of their homes in large numbers present an image of happiness and spontaneous overflow of life. This image is in stark contrast to the dozing old mother, whose ashen face looks lifeless and pale like a corpse. She is an image of aging, decay, and passivity. The contrast of the two images enhances the poetic effect.